How about now? Does it sound good? It should be good now. Yeah, I think I hit a macro for muting. I think it's, yeah, that's it. Should be good now. Omega Lol, yeah, there was a macro for something. Hey, what's up, Mert? I haven't heard the Green Bull voice actor. I haven't done anything One Piece related for the anime in like, God, I don't know how long it's been. I watched that one Katakuri versus Luffy episode, and I think that was it. What's up, Ali? What are we talking about? I have one topic that I have been thinking about for the past few days. It's like a power scaling topic, but it's kind of just like, how are you going to justify this character reaching this kind of level topic? I think it's kind of interesting because it's something that Oda hasn't developed since the start of the series. Like there hasn't been anything hinted at it at all. So I'll probably give my opinions on that and talk to you guys about it afterwards. Probably just chilling. I don't know how long the stream's gonna be. We'll see. I have a neck to neck with Ohara tomorrow, so I don't want to talk for so long that my voice isn't ready to do a neck to neck video. It's been a long time since I've done a neck to neck. That's been uploaded. I have like three that are recorded that I just couldn't upload because of whatever issue I was facing. 10K get the YouTube money. Yeah, right. 10K is essentially nothing. Um, it's a hallmark for me, but honestly, if I wasn't so lazy and pathetic, I would have been past this hallmark last. It should have been last year, honestly. But it is what it is. We're at here now, so at least I got 10K. Also, I have a lot of cough drops to help lozenge my throat. Yo, what's up, Max? Thanks, Mo. Power scaling? That's right. Yo, return of the neck to necks. Yeah, we're gonna try and get him going. Yo, $10 from a kind of thanks, man. I appreciate it. At work, so I can't stay. Congrats on 10K. Arigato. My dude, praise the holy magma. You already know. I'm the residential Akainu stan. So, what, like $100 a month? It depends on how many videos I make. As of right now, one video, if I make 1 to 2 videos per week for the chapter, so let's say I make a review and I make a live reaction, and both of those get around 3,000 views, which is my average. Anything over that, like the 4,000, is like that's like I'm peaking. But if I make 2 videos every week for a month, that will make me roughly, including a few streams here and there, that will be around $200 a month. Keep the chops nearby. I'm glad the coffee has went down. Actually, it's kind of weird. I just started coughing 2 days ago. Last night, Snickers was sleeping on me the whole night. I just kept waking up in fits of coughing. Like I was just like, like an old man. Luckily for me, my immune system is like literally top tier. I get sick like once a year. So, what's up, Wig? I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Yo, thanks a lot, Nazim. I appreciate it. Put Snickers on my chest to heal me. She'll be there at some point during the stream, I think. Cody, who is the actual owner of Snickers, he went home for the weekend. So Snickers literally now spends every waking moment with me from when I wake up to when I go to bed, and I feed her now whenever he's gone. So I actually kind of have to keep Snickers with me because if I don't, she gets lonely. So I can't like kick her out of my room at any point for like videos because there's really nowhere to put her to. how's the job situation going? Uh, well, it's I think I have some good luck coming my way. I got off the phone for the a phone interview for a tech company yesterday. It's called BitWizards, but it's the same place that my friend's fiance works at. Brian, he's the landlord. Brian's fiance, same place she works at. She basically put me onto the job, which was very nice of her. And I got a phone interview. I passed the phone interview, so I have another interview coming up sometime within the next week or so. It pays more than what I'm making now. It doesn't pay a super whole lot. It's 15 an hour. I'll take that. It's better than 10 an hour. And it's gonna be full time. So we got that working, and potentially 2 or 3 months down the line, I have a subscriber of mine who may have something hooked up with me. We'll see. All I want from WoW now is for Usopp to get captured and tortured LOL at Dritz. I'm too sick to take cough drops and hot tea with lemon. I can't drink hot drinks. I can't stand tea unless it's cold. But Usopp getting tortured. I saw Morge uploaded a video. I haven't watched it yet. Um, as far as this tortured stuff goes, I imagine that expectation comes from the one panel of dialogue from chapter 940, 939, where it was Nami Usopp talking. That would be such a letdown. Honestly, like I would like that too if Usopp got tortured, but in the context of Luffy not getting tortured, I would still be salty to some degree. I cannot deny. Also, thanks for the $2, Josh. I appreciate it. Am I gonna talk about the power scaling stuff on my own? No, I'll invite you in for that, Christian. Yo, check PayPal. All right, my friend, I will. Let me go ahead and pull. How do I keep getting muted? Yeah, I'm muted. I saw that. Sorry about that. Well, how do I keep getting muted? I need to. I'm turning off that macro. Fuck that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that shit off. Fuck that. All right, that shouldn't happen anymore. I mean, no, still no. It should be fine. Am I still good? Am I back? No audio? What? What about now? We good? Hello. I see it going. Fucking technology. Fine. Okay. God damn. Dritz on Corazon gimmick. Is that a question, Kako, about how do I feel about Corazon's gag? Dritz, it came up on Twitter yesterday, but who would you have in a fight between Zoro versus Law? I'd have Law. As of right now, I would put Law to win. It would be a high def fight, but I think Law would win. That sound. Yeah, Lothar, I checked PayPal. I didn't see anything. Unless I'm wilding or something. Sound is good. Hey, that's what we want. That is what we want. Yeah, give me that ASMR. You didn't have a dono as far as I could tell, Lothar. I checked. There was nothing. Nothing's been updated since March. I didn't see it. No, it's because you were muted, Dritz. Oh, okay. Anyway, Kako, I don't know if I was muted whenever I asked you. Was your question about Corazon? Oh, wait. That's what you actually meant. I'm retarded. I'm retarded. That joke went right over my head. Well, why is there no chapter today? Because Oda went on break. That would be the reason why Lightskin. Oda goes on break a fair amount. So you should usually expect it after every 4 chapters. Should I read the Mistborn or Stormlight archive first? That choice is kind of up to you, Brandon. Honestly, the Stormlight archive, in my opinion, is way better than Mistborn. All of them. I think it's just better for my personal tastes. But generally speaking, if you're not someone that reads a lot and you're not used to 1,000 page books or even over 500 page books, I think Mistborn is a better entry level book or trilogy to get you acclimated to the Stormlight, kind of like Brandon Sanderson's universe in general, as well as how he writes. And it's a good trilogy. It's one of my favorites. But I don't think it holds up to the Stormlight archive. So which one would I recommend you to do? I would say you can't go wrong with either or. Whatever you're feeling. Normally, I would recommend Mistborn, but in hindsight, I don't really think there's a detriment to starting the Stormlight series because the way Brandon writes his books is that there shouldn't be like any boundary between you starting a new series and not reading the old ones. Have I read Samurai 8? No, I haven't. I have not read Samurai 8. I've heard mixed opinions on it, but it's Kishimoto. I'll give it a look at some point in time just out of the respect I have for Naruto. But my expectations are very low because Kishimoto is the one who's writing it, so we'll see. I won't judge it until I can actually read it. Ever think of doing Cosmere streams? Me and Joyboy were supposed to do a Cosmere stream after we had finished Oathbringer, but we kind of never got around to doing it. And it's kind of weird. There's so much information in the Cosmere that half of it kind of left my brain in the process of learning new stuff for like Wano as well as Berserk. So to not be a bot, I would definitely have to do some rereading, do like an in-depth Cosmere stream. Check again. All right, let me go ahead and check again. There we go. I see it now, Lothar. Wow. All right, Lothar. That is a hefty donation, my friend. Thank you very much. Is there anything you want to ask, Lothar? What is good? That is crazy. That is crazy. Thank you very much, Lothar. I agree. Zoro versus Law is a high diff fight, but how far do you think Sanji can push Law mid diff? In my opinion, is this current Sanji? I don't know. That's like kind of like a big question. How strong is Sanji right now? Either way, I think Law still wins. Um, but it's probably still a high diff fight. I guess that comes back to the whole debate. Do you think the raid suit actually increases Sanji's strength? Which asks Dritz, do you think Dressrosa would have been better off if Dofi's crew wasn't such a joke? We saw that Pico was going to be much more of a serious character from the sketches. Generally speaking, it is better to have your antagonists be more serious characters than jokes. Because you have to consider the tonality of what you're handling. So yeah, in retrospective, with what Dressrosa ended up being, it's a lot easier to say in hindsight. That it would have been better if the antagonists had been treated better. Some of them were serious characters. It's just like the way it ended up being is that, you know, I don't know. I could see the argument being made that it literally doesn't matter because nothing would have changed Oda's writing, so the end result would have been the same. But I mean, Dofi's crew, it's kind of like Crocodile's crew was basically a joke too, outside of like Mr. One, and the only one that really worked outside of Mr. One was Bon Clay, because he had rapport with the crew. So he wasn't just a random nobody, but everyone else is just kind of there. How do I feel about Yang as president? I don't even know who Yang is, Mo. How long do you think we'll have to wait for the Guts Casket reunion? I just read the Berserk chapter yesterday. I'm trying to... I might have to do a video about that, but like... For the Berserk chapter... If you separate the context away from that chapter and looked at the chapter itself, I actually think the chapter was pretty decent. Like, there was a lot of interesting philosophy going on there that I don't think a lot of other series actually tackle in a way that makes sense. So I enjoyed it. But you have to put context to everything. I think what Miura did with that chapter is in the top 10 anime betrayals of all time. Like, it was that bad. Like, to do that to the fandom, that was absolutely awful. What's your opinion on My Hero? My opinion on My Hero, I have a lot of catching up to do. I'm actually pretty far behind, but I think My Hero is a good series overall. I think it's going to be that series that kind of starts off with the generation that's growing right now in shonen, so the younger people. I wouldn't put it on the same level as One Piece, but it has a lot of things going for it right now. So I just think Horikoshi needs to keep it up. I don't know how long the series is going to end. I know before in interviews that Horikoshi said that it was going to keep it to a roughly short series for a long running shonen, which I think is actually the better move for the continuity of the story. But we'll see what Success has to say about that. Will Usopp get a 1v1 in Wano? Define, like, I sound so stupid saying this, but define exactly what you mean by 1v1. Is Usopp going to beat a character in single combat? Maybe. Possibly. But is it going to be a highly focused, centered fight like we normally see with Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy? I think those times have kind of passed for the Straw Hats until the Blackbeard stuff. Damn straight, where's the content? You really gonna put me on blast like that? God damn. It's somewhere, Lothar. Mert says, Dritz, you could become an author, either write a book about One Piece as a post-apocalyptic dystopia, or create your own religion where you preach about being a neck narcissist. I could definitely do the second one. Joshua says, what's wrong with Kishimoto writing it? I don't understand. Was it different with Naruto because Kishimoto has the same role? What I mean by that, Josh, is that I feel like that if you look deeper into Naruto, outside of just enjoying it, if you look into it deeper for like writing issues or continuity or things that would make sense, you can kind of tell that Kishimoto did not have a lot of things planned out in a logical way, and that a lot of the characters really, just a lot of the internal world building really collapses in on itself by how lackluster it appears by the end of the series, which is the case for a lot of long running series. Kishimoto has, in my opinion, has serious issues writing his characters. over a long period of time. And I think part of that is because of a lack of vision and just immaturity. Like he didn't actually know how to do some of the things. And if you look at some of his interviews, it points to the fact that he doesn't really know how to write some character types, which Samurai 8 could be different. He might have learned from his mistakes in the past after all of these years, and he'll be better for it. That's something we'll have to see with time. Do I keep up with Black Clover? I have not read Black Clover or watched it yet. Martin Hogg, what's up, dog? Hey, long time since I've been on a live stream. How you doing? Fine. Yeah, I'm doing good, dude. Do you think we will get news from the Reverie while in Wano? Yeah, I think so. Um, I think a lot of people have kind of come to this conclusion right now, where it's like after every act in Wano, we'll get a little update, like a world building chapter. World building. I didn't say that right, but we'll get like a little world building chapter that tells us what's going on in the outside world and how it's going to affect the arc we're in. Anyone watch that anime Suffering from Success video by Yonko Productions? Just curious because he plus Drizzly mentioned success. Oh, sorry, I meant Dritz mentioned success. I saw that Yonko updated that or upload that. I haven't watched it yet though. Does that include some of the things I talked about? You want a great story when it comes to fantasy books? Check out Malazan Book of the Fallen. I've heard of that series before. I've heard of that series. How's my monster read through going? Much like many of my other read throughs, it has stopped. I'm on a hiatus for no actual reason other than the fact that I just kind of just stopped reading it. Same with One Punch Man. I haven't read One Punch Man in about like 5 or 6 months. Actually, probably more than that. I need to catch up on One Punch Man too. But yeah, I have a lot of catching up to do when it comes to series. This two series, excuse me. I've been playing a lot of Smite recently, so I haven't actually spent a whole lot of time reading other manga. Have I read 1984? I have actually not read 1984, which I probably should. I read one chapter of it for a school project, and then I'm pretty sure I spark notes the rest of it for a report because high school students don't read. But I should read it now. Lightbringer series is fire. I'll look that up. Oh, this is by Brent Weeks. I have not read the Lightbringer series. I have not. Well, you mentioned how Horikoshi was planning on to keep My Hero short, but based on his success, he may change those plans. Yeah, actually, that brings up a topic, Josh. I don't watch Game of Thrones, and this is going to be spoiler free. Spoiler free. I'm not going to ruin the series for you, but a lot of the people that I follow on YouTube, they do watch Game of Thrones, so they'll put up reviews and critiques. And you've likely heard that the season 8 of Game of Thrones has done awful ratings wise, and many people are unhappy. And I was watching a critique video, and someone brought up a clip of George R. Martin, who's the author of the Game of like the I forget what the actual the series title is, something Fire and Ice or whatever. But Game of Thrones is essentially it. And he brought up the scenario where it was talking about basically retconning, where it's like, if someone figures out an idea that you had, and this made me think of Oda as well, in a sense, but he was asked a question where if someone found out one of his biggest mysteries and they solved it before it was shown in the book, would he change the idea of the book? Like, would he change what it was? And he his answer to it was essentially is like, no, it's like he's checked online before for theories. 95 or 99% of them are wrong, but there are people who do get them right. And he thinks that changing the idea of a story actually ruins the story continuity if you change it on the basis of just wanting it to be a shock factor. Because then you put all these foreshadowings into the stories to make it be, in George's metaphor, to be the chambermaid who killed the man. But because someone figured it out, you make it be like someone else that killed the guy. And so all of these clues earlier on in the series basically just get retconned because you wanted it to be a surprise. And I don't know, as far as My Hero goes, it's like success really does change people. And I think when authors reach success, they come with an internal battle with, if especially if they're dealing with one series, because unlike authors in the real world where they can make different series if they want to, manga authors have to stick with the one series they're working on that's being serialized, that and they have to finish that basically before they do most other shit. So there comes a real hard point in time where it's like, do you choose success and longevity and money over the quality of your story, or do you choose to maintain the quality of your story and give up money so that you can create a better legacy for yourself? And it's a very interesting discussion because, this kind of happens in all mediums, even in the NBA, right? Where it's like, you have people like Anthony Davis right now, who's a superstar, top 5 player, and he's giving up essentially like 70 to 80 million dollars just so that he can get the chance to be on a championship level team because he doesn't want to stay in New Orleans and re-sign for the max. But you have plenty of other players who would be perfectly willing to stay in one place, no shot of winning, if they can create more money for themselves. It's a very interesting dynamic. Like, for instance, if you put me in that same situation, I feel like most people would choose money because at the end of the day, they care more about what's affecting them directly other than like their fictional work. Does my boy Dritz have a special lady in his life? He does not. He does not. If you could choose one thing to happen in One Piece, what would it be to happen? Oh my god, only one? Only one. Jesus Christ. That's a top 5 question. Only one thing. Please, this is like a wish. Please do not let Kaido get nerfed by Big Mom for him to be defeated in Wano. I want Wano to go down. I mean, it's really, really hard because it's been so subpar so far. But I want the ending of Wano to be really strong towards Kaido and keep the continuity of the Yonkers and that image of strength in our minds instead of sacrificing it for the plot. I really hope that this Kaido Big Mom stuff goes out in a satisfactory way. Kevin Rogers says, yo, what's up, Kevin? Audi Dritz, love the channel, my man. What character are you most hyped to see in the new world? And what event are you looking forward to the most? Thanks. What character do I want to see the most in the new world? Mihawk is number 1. I want to see Mihawk. And what event am I looking forward to the most? Hmm. Uh, Blackbeard versus Shanks right now. Like that entire subplot centered around that. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. Tyler says, Dritz, I mean, success does change people. Otis said that if he ever felt threatened or challenged by another mangaka, then he'd do more research and improve One Piece, which means he isn't giving it his best effort. I don't think you're wrong, Tyler. I do not think you're wrong. Rank the Straw Hats based on how much you like them currently. So, Alibaba, this is a question. Does this include continuity? So, does this include the feelings of the Straw Hats from the pre-time skip up until this point in time, or is it just right now, right here? What was my order of the Straw Hats? Any expectations for Dragon? I have big expectations for Dragon, but like Dragon's one of those characters where he hasn't gotten his full potential yet or his chance in the narrative, so he's not as a dynamic of he's not as dynamic of a character to make me love him. Oh, guess who's awake? Can they see you in the camera? A little bit. You have a nice nap, princess? I can't see the chat if you're standing in front of my monitor. I'll have to move the thing then. Based on the entire story. Nami, Luffy, Zoro, Robin, Usopp, Chopper, Jinbei, Frankie, Brook, Sanji. Was my order. While the emu thing sucked, so I dropped the ball. How? How is it even possible to drop the ball on that? Thanks for the interesting discussion. Sorry if I overemphasized my earlier comments because I wasn't sure. I connected my comments about Yonko's production success video to your. No, don't apologize, Josh. Clarify it as much as you need to. Usopp top 5. That's all that matters to me. I'm actually surprised you're not mad that he's not top 3. Do I think Hawkins and Drake will switch sides in the arc? Yeah, that's my expectation at this point. Yeah. Chris, do you think it is necessary for Smoker to get a lot stronger to fulfill his role? Under the assumption that we all think that Smoker is supposed to fit into the role that we think he is, then yeah. Smoker's much too weak to be at the role that he should, to be at the strength that he should be. And that's going to be an issue heading later on to the series, is how do you get characters like Smoker and Kobe stronger without giving them characters to actually beat? Because if you don't, then you kind of ruin continuity in the story about how you get strong. Dofi's the GOAT. There's a lot of Dofi fans out there. Well, I'm a realistic Usopp fanboy, the new fans that actually have common sense, unlike Zoro and Sanji fanboys. That's true. Oh. Do I think Garp gets a fight? If Garp gets a fight, he's losing it, in my opinion. Like an actual fight. He's too old right now. What Vice Admiral? I think he's worthy, but he could still grow. Wait, what are we talking about, Josh? Dritz writer don't do this shit. It's a myth. What are you talking about? Writers don't do what? Yo, what's up, Eric? How you doing, dude? How have you guys been? It's great to see the brother, the tandem here. How goes the Whole Cake Island video essay? Slowly trudging along. Who's my favorite Yonko? I mean, right now it has to be Shanks. We, it has to be Shanks right now. Literally has to be. Am I gonna rate the chapters according to the number of Kyaws? The more Kyaws I see in chapters, the higher chance I have of bumping up the rating. How do I see the Prism Mine plot panning out? Will Luffy fight Queen, and what role will Big Meme play? Well, I'll tackle that last part first. What role do I think Big Meme will play? I think Big Meme's purpose is to destroy the prison. Luffy alluded to during his talk with Raizo and whatever the other people were there at that point in time. Raizo, Hyo, and Caribou. That all they needed to do was just destroy the place, right? Luffy's not going to be able to do that by himself. They need some outside force to create a plot convenience so they can get part of their plan written. So, Big Mom will probably destroy the prison in a fit of rage. Queen, I don't think Queen fights anyone. Like, fights in a 1v1, win or lose kind of thing. I think Queen gets memed. And will probably be saved for a final battle. I think I missed this debate, but who do you think about? What do I think about all this Emu stuff? Like Emu as a character, or is there something else I'm missing? You referring to the Smoker role? Oh, about him being a vice admiral. Smoker's an unproven person who's only. I mean, he could have beaten Virgo, but he lost in a fair fight against Law. And like Law's significantly below Luffy at this point. And I feel like Smoker should be closer and closer to Luffy as the series progresses. But you can only really get stronger past a certain point in time by fighting strong people. And a lot of the Marines don't have that issue. That's why a lot of the Admirals come out as like, in Fire Emblem terminology, they're already like maxed out characters. Where it's like, yeah, they don't need to have progression. So it's going to be interesting to see where Oda takes Smoker and Kobe. Eric says, pretty sweet. The right won Australia in a shock win last night. Super happy. The right, is that, are you talking about, like, are you talking about a political? Why isn't Whitebeard your favorite Yonko? We were talking about current Yonko, weren't we? We weren't talking about all of the Yonko ever. If this is all of the Yonko ever, then yeah, Whitebeard's my answer. Drit's random wild theory of Moria dies, Mihawk will no longer be safe, which means Perona will join the crew. No. 40 rubies or rubles from Mecha. Hi, Drit's top 5 One Piece female characters. Oh, top 5. Nami, Robin, Boa. Nojiko Vivi, I guess. Off the top of my head. $1 from Nalibur. Thank you for the $1 donation. I appreciate it. Yeah, what I'm saying, Josh, is that compared to Luffy, he needs like actual people to fight. Congrats on 10K. Thank you very much. Is my dislike of Sanji based entirely on the post time skip, or have I always disliked him? I disliked Sanji prior to the post time skip, so no, it's not just the post time skip. Although the post time skip did contribute to hating him more. Election, yes. Oh, dope. Is the right winning a good thing? What's up, Looney? Do I think Rayleigh will have any further impact on the series? Eh. Maybe during the final war. Until then, no. Mihawk advised Perona to leave because it might not be safe, so she'll have nowhere to go. So, LOL. Yeah, that doesn't mean she's joining the crew, you fucking. No. I don't think Moria's gonna die. Thank you, Max. I appreciate it. Has anyone thought of Blackbeard using Moria to resurrect Whitebeard and Ace? Yeah, that's actually kind of a common thought. I don't know how I would feel about that happening. It depends on what's done with it. Depends on what's done with it. It seems pretty cheesy bringing like the reason I dislike that is like the continuity issues you could have with like logically using that ability. I don't like when authors have to be stretched to the point of bringing back dead people to create threats. It just like it's like weird taste in the mouth. Have I watched the Monogatari series? No, I haven't actually. The only Gatari series that I've watched is Katana Gatari, which is a really, really good series. Bro, I love you, but you came off super condescending with Matt B on Twitter. Joshua, me and Matt B do this literally all the time, man. Me and Matt B are literally like best buds when it comes to our relationship right now, dude. So we both got a kick out of that in our DMs, man. Mihawk versus Ben Beckman. Mihawk. Yeah, the left in Australia want to be socialist trash. What does the right want to be? It's just an image walking across the screen with no build up. An image walking. So I think that Zoro being able to use the breath or advanced armament hockey will give him edge against Jack. I'm assuming that's what you mean by the drought. I don't think Zoro's gonna fight Jack. So I mean, would it though? Under that situation, I mean, any power up should give you a better chance of beating an opponent. So, Dritz, how strong do I think Boa is? Who is she close to in strength? This is a very hard question to answer because you basically have nothing to go off of. Boa's strength is incredibly ambiguous, and it doesn't lean towards one direction or the other, like weak or strong. I feel like to answer this question, you go with your gut instincts. So I know a lot of Boa fanboys hard stand her as being like, commander level plus strong because, Boa Sama. Uh Boa has the potential to be the second strongest female in the series, so that would place her above Smoothie. But I don't see the narrative purpose of making Boa that strong because she's never ever, unless Boa gets a second plot line with the Celestial Dragons, it is never going to be necessary to have Boa be that strong, especially considering that Boa's main purpose of even being invented as a character had nothing to do with her overall strength. I don't know what Oda's thoughts on her have been. All she did was cook meat during the time skip. And she's a girl in One Piece, and that automatically gives her a disadvantage in terms of being comparable to people in strength because of how Oda treats women. I think that the story has made it clear for now that I think that Dofi was stronger than Boa, and I'm gonna stick with that. Dofi's stronger than Boa, Boa below Dofi, then Mihawk way above everyone else. As far as the Shichibukai go. Weave will probably above Dofi as well. If you're power scaling, you need Lord Tai. Oh god. Lord Tai. That neck to neck will be coming eventually. It's what I think about Big Mom getting whooped by Queen. Lose-lose situation. If Big Mom gets whooped by Queen, that's more shit that you could put onto the stockpile of the burning garbage bin that is Big Mom. And if Big Mom beats up Queen, it's a lose-lose situation as far as I can see. $40 more rubles. Roger put Nami as number 11 best female character. Well, that's not surprising. Outside of myself and Brago, it's no secret that much of the YouTube community hates Nami because they really don't understand her character. So, that's never going to change. Yo, what's up? Wow, I'm doing good. My favorite line from Dritz, how Oda treats women. I mean, am I wrong though? Am I? What if Big Meme one-shot Queen? Mm. Mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm. No. I don't even want to imagine it. I'm sure you've. Well, hello. You want to come to your spot? All right, I got a cat now. Gotta bring this closer. Say hi. Thank you. Oh, Jesus Christ. Snickers. Just lay down. I'm sure you've answered this question before, but why do you set the bar so high for One Piece when it's a pandering piece of subliterature, along with most manga? I put One Piece that high because that's what I held it at one point in time. That's what a lot of people hold it to. There are a lot of people who think that One Piece is one of the greatest literary pieces of all time. Yo, what's up, Ali? How you doing? Yeah, scratch that booty. Yo, what's up, Isaac? Big Mama's gonna one-shot Queen. And it's gonna be so good. I I don't understand, Eric, why you think that is cool. Honestly, it just baffles me. I was surprised that a lot of them were picking Robin over Nami. I thought everybody was a Nami fan. No. In the West, it is a very common trope in the West for One Piece fans to not like Nami because of what our culture's like. Um, People do overvalue Robin, in my opinion, although they can like what they like. Very common. Jits, what is the possibility that pudding caused Big Mom's amnesia? I would say very, very low. And also, that would bring up even more questions like, what is the motivation of doing, like, why then, there, and now? What was the point? Why didn't you do that in Whole Cake Island? I have yet to subscribe. Convince me why I should bless you. Well, honestly, the choice is yours, Solo Dolo Solomon. I'm not going like. Listen, if you want a guy that I'm a drag down in nature. I try to keep it real. If you like people being real to their feelings, I will never try to pander to someone just so I could save a couple likes on something. So, I mean, the most thing I can do for you is keep it real. How do I feel about Luffy as a protagonist? Poor. I do not think Luffy is a good protagonist. My favorite female besides Shaki is Whitey Bay. Okay, Ali, explain that one. How? Wait, how though? I don't even understand. Eric, you have to understand. You wanting Big Mom to regain this respect back, it ultimately hurts the entirety of the arc. You are choosing Big Mom, who, even if she did one shot Queen, it doesn't save her portrayal as an absolutely incompetent piece of garbage. That is the ultimate plot device. And the consequence of that is it basically ruins the arc. Just am I the only one that thinks there needs to be one more time skip for Kobe to become an admiral? I think so. Not to be savage or anything, Trill the Savage, but with the way power scaling works in One Piece and what we've seen from Luffy, and the depths that Oda is willing to go to make people just be stronger, I think it is completely reasonable to say that even at the pace that Kobe's going right now, which is at a higher pace than Luffy, that he could be admiral without a time skip. Why do people overrate the admirals and put them on Yonko level? Because I think that you can actually make a fairly decent argument as to why you would actually do that. I don't think it's absurd to think that. It's not common though. If you want to include only pre-time skip Young, then there's certainly a good debate there. And I feel like you would be totally justified in doing that. You can like what you choose to like, but I feel like the post time skip should logically affect a lot of people's likes for certain characters. What? All right, she's moved. She's taking her watch. You went out? No? We'll see if she's probably thirsty. Let's see. Ali said she is a baddie and she was a part of Whitebeard's alliance. She's active and a captain of her ship, Baddie. How many panels do we have of her in the entirety of the series, Ali? I mean, I mean, you can like what you like, but that's definitely a new one. I haven't seen that before. Is it looking like Luffy is clearly leaps and bounds above the other supernova? That's what it looks like to me. Two, I forget what CA is, but donation from the film student. Make a video of Oda versus Sanderson. You can't compare manga versus an actual book. It's not fair to either person. I don't think it's fair to do that. Do I think Blackbird's showing up? Yep. Oh shit, that was like a lot of problems, like my ass. What happened to the power scaling? It's coming up. Give me some time. Let me wait for Snickers to come back. Because otherwise she'll just scream at my door until she gets back in. Dritz, I don't know. Maybe she didn't know about Big Mom's plan until she set sail. Maybe. She's a Yonka. I don't think her bumping her head on some random object would give her amnesia. Yeah, but the problem with that, Sterling, is you then have to take care of the character motivations and why you would just do it at that point in time. Like, where's the build up for putting erasing Big Mom's memory at that specific point in time? The answer is it doesn't exist. And both leave you with a contrived plot occurrence, which is exactly what happened for Big Mom to get amnesia. Although, admittedly, the pudding one's slightly better than Big Mom just getting it randomly. It's fancy pee on the corner of your bed. No, she didn't. You're a liar. Whitey Bay is actually arrested or dead because Weevil was hunting Whitebeard's allied members. Yeah, but he didn't get all of them, did he? You like the Vinsmokes? Really? Interesting. Interesting. I can't say I join you there. The only Vinsmoke that I liked was Judge. If any of them. Judge was the best one for me. 40 rubles from Mecha. Carrot plus Vivi plus Koala plus Shirahoshi plus Viola plus Reiju plus Bonnie. All of those people combined are greater than Nami. So it takes 7 characters to become greater than Nami. I mean, 3 of those characters is like completely irrelevant, but sure. 7 characters combined, maybe that could equal Nami. Oh, really? I missed that, Josh. If so, that sucks. I look like Motana of 300. I don't know who that is. Ali, who are your top 5 favorite characters, not just gender specific, but who are your top 5 favorite characters in the series? This will tell me a lot about your mindset. Why is the category of this video people and blogs? I don't know. I don't change the category. I set it the default. What do you think about the theory that the remnants of the Roger Pirates backing up Luffy in the final war? Not necessary, I don't think. Definitely not necessary. Made you look? Yo, thanks for the $10, Lothar. I appreciate it. Is Ben Shapiro canon to One Piece? Yes. No, that was the list Roger gave. Wait, what? Okay, Carrot's one of the worst characters in the series. Vivi. Koala? Koala. Koala. Shirahoshi. Viola. Reiju. Bonnie. Oh. Omega lol, as they say. Let's see, your number 1 favorite character in the series is Katakuri? Or the correct pronunciation of his name. Katakuri. All right. What's 2, 3, 4, 5? Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji were already walking through everyone on Wano. What? Luffy, yeah, but well, true. That's his headcanon. 2 Law. Okay, respect Law. Why don't I read or watch Attack on Titan? Well, I originally watched the first 2 seasons. First season, actually, just the first one. And then I read the manga to catch up. And I read the manga monthly for a while. And then I dropped it because I kind of just got bored. Because my favorite part of Attack on Titan kind of just didn't become a part of the series anymore. And so it was somewhat less interesting to me. But it's a good series. I'd recommend people to read it. No order for my top 5, but Luffy, Zoro, Mihawk, Aokiji, Rayleigh. It's a good top 5. What's up, Jameson? You're thinking 3 Shocky, 4 Capone. Capone. Drake. Capone. Capone, then Dofi. Okay. Katakuri Law, Jackie, Capone, Dofi. One of these is not like the other. Okay, well, you gotta explain that shit. I don't know if you saw Last Grove. I haven't. But they were comparing rappers to One Piece characters. Drake was Roger. Oh my god. Kendrick was Whitebeard. That's hilarious. I'm sure Braga was leading the Drake stand. 6 Aokiji. All right. Aokiji. Okay. Never really made my own list. Dritz doesn't like pussy. He likes personality. A true gentleman. Facts. Yo, what's up, my mom woo? Nothing much. We just chilling right now. Capone though. Alright, you got to explain Capone for real. I mean, Tyler, I don't even know if Usopp's in my top 20. You talk about Titan fights, you should get back into it. No, the reason I liked I'll try to keep this as spoiler free. It's partially spoiler free. The reason I got into Attack on Titan was the mystery and lore behind the Titans in general. In the series of Attack on Titan, um, it shifts away from that lore and mythology of being mysterious to something that I don't think is as entertaining as that mystery. That's what drug me into the series. There she is. Hey, give me that booty. My booty. Then my list is questionable by default, Dritz. I can't wait to see Aokiji again. Yo, I can't wait to see Aokiji either. I like Aokiji a lot. At a certain point, you have to answer the mysteries. Yeah, at a certain point, you do have to answer the mysteries. I just kind of feel that, like, for me, Attack on Titan went into a kind of boring. Like, I wasn't a big fan of the answer to that mystery. At first, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And I don't know, I just don't really like where Attack on Titan is kind of heading. What? No. Lay down. One Shanks, two Aokiji, three Ben Beckman's your third favorite character in the series. What? Wow. Okay. Let's see. Yep, I love mob movies. Goodfellas is one of my favorite of all time. His relationship with Chiffon, Pez, and the crew was great to see. From Zoe to the end of Hoki Island just made me like him a lot. Top five. Okay. Okay. It's not even 10% revealed. Where did you cut off? Well, I'm in the manga. I don't want to spoil it for other people, but there's a certain part in the manga that I just dropped. The main reason, I dropped Attack on Titan, um, it's more because I was more invested in the mystery than I was the characters. I do not like the characters, the main cast for Attack on Titan that much. I don't like Eren. Outside of Mikasa being hot, she's like whatever. Armin's okay. Levi's okay. Erwin's okay. Sakupu says, I completely agree with you on the Attack on Titan. I was expecting Norse mythology lore or some Gantz stuff, but we got other stuff. Yeah, I don't know. That's what interested me. You have Bon Clay in your top five. I think Bon Clay is a pretty good character, honestly. I like Bon Clay a lot. Also, I gotta like, this is like, I'm trying to pick my nose without picking it by rubbing my fucking Mikasa hot. Yeah, Mikasa is really hot. What? Of course she's hot. It's not a question. It's hot. Hot as shit. One, Goonsop. Two, Fake Nami. Three, Bocce. Four, Jordan Peterson. Fuck you, wow. I mean, young. Which of the Straw Hats did you like at first, but now you don't? Chopper, Sanji, Frankie, Brooke, Jinbei, Usopp, Luffy, Zor. What's up, Joel? You like 12-year-old Asian girls? Hey, listen, if Sanji can like 12-year-old Asian girls, then I should be allowed to like 12-year-old Asian girls as well. Mecca says, if you continue reading, I bet one of them will be your favorite. Maybe. I kind of know the general direction of where Attack on Titan goes. He was home. Is there any shots I do like right now? No. Not even Nami. Right now, no. Okay, I can see you liking Sanji, but never Brook. I liked Brook a fair amount at the beginning. He was cool. I thought he had a lot of potential for being a character. Drits, how would you feel about Nami somehow getting all of the powers of the Soul Fruit? Oh, God, no. Please, God, no. 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 Clean the shit out of herself. Mikasa's hot because she's a cute badass. Hollywood has taken a college course in this science. In a way, yeah. Why are you giving me blue balls? Because blue's my favorite color of balls. I'm not going to pause that. Thoughts on Game of Thrones and Avengers Endgame? Well, I haven't watched Game of Thrones, but I know what's happening. I think it's a shame what's happening to the series. Disappointing. One of the all-time greats going down in flames. Avengers Endgame. I think Endgame is a good movie. That's best. The best part of it is the emotional appeal, but I have my reservations about the movie. Do I like Baroque works or Water 7 Enies Lobby more? Oh, Water 7 Enies Lobby for sure. Would I be in favor of any Straw Hat gaining a Devil Fruit? Let's see. I guess it would depend on the Devil Fruit. I don't know. At this point, like, even if some Straw Hats, if it would be cool that they got a Devil Fruit, I feel like it's kind of a waste of potential because the kind of point of getting a Devil Fruit would be that the person's natural strength isn't enough for them to become as useful to the crew, so they need another ability. But we've seen so far throughout the post time skip that most of the Straw Hats have already fallen massively far behind, and it's not even a detriment to the crew. So we don't even know what they're capable of doing as like a 100% fact, but they don't even need to get stronger. So getting a Devil Fruit is kind of irrelevant. For one of them to get a Devil Fruit, I would rather see the limits and scope of their ability before they got a Devil Fruit. Because I would like to see them spend time with that Devil Fruit, adapting it, learning it, and then like becoming something more by the end of the series. But now that we're already 80% through the series, it feels like getting a Devil Fruit right now, whenever the Straw Hats haven't done anything, it just feels like an unneeded power. It feels like feels like it would be put in there for the sake of like this is a cool idea. Boom, put it in there. Which for the narrative, I wouldn't really enjoy it. I'd rather see the Straw Hats because I feel like the Straw Hats can do perfectly well by themselves if they were focused on their individual abilities, but they're not. So, because I feel like all of them bring a unique aspect to the table. Brook tried to double team Sparrow and still got neg diffed. That's a fact. Chopper also lost to trees. rate 942 chapters out of 10 for One Piece. So the entire series of One Piece out of 10. Mm. I would have to do some heavy thinking about that. Hmm. I don't know. What's your most underrated arc? The Foxy arc. Do I think the world government was kind of stupid for naming Roger the Pirate King or even naming the Yonko, as it gives the other pirates something to strive for? Well, I don't know if it's been confirmed that the world government is responsible for naming Roger the Pirate King. I thought the context behind that was that other people acknowledged him as the Pirate King, but it doesn't say exactly who it was. So it might have been just like an epithet that was attached onto him. And from the government's perspective, they might have done that so for the exact purpose, where it's like if you put the fear of God into someone for someone being that strong, it will keep most of the fish out of the water or like at one end of the pond, and there's actually less to deal with. Let's see, another five from Film Student. The best arcs of One Piece don't revolve around saving a faceless town of citizens. Saving Ace and Robin is greater than faceless country. Small scale greater than big scale stakes. Yes. And the reason that is generally the case is because in small scale stakes, you can actually hyper focus on one aspect of that scenario and characterize it much more in a much more meaningful way than you can for an entire country. Um, it's like the superhero syndrome. Also, someone asked me to list the top five strongest supernova. Luffy, Kid, Law, Zoro, Drake. Those are gonna be my five. What's my opinion on Haki being introduced in the series? Many people say that when the series started going downhill. Would you agree? Um, as far as Haki in the series, I feel like Haki was a cool idea. Actually, even though it's somewhat generic, a lot of series have it. There's a reason a lot of series have that is because it's actually kind of based on a real life idea around like chi. I feel like Haki was fine. I think the issue with Haki is that it wasn't refined from the start. So Oda didn't really know what he wanted to do with it or where it was going to end up at the point that he introduced it. Or maybe he knew what it was going to end up being, but he didn't know how to get there yet. But I don't know. I feel like Haki's like it's introduced some of the biggest plot conveniences in the series, but if the rest of the story, if the storytelling of a series is still great, then that kind of stuff doesn't seem as big of a factor. I feel like the issue with Haki has been amplified because of where the story of One Piece is. So people tend to focus on something that isn't really hyper developed and point to that as one of the issues as for the quality of the story not being what it should be. Well, the Fox arc actually had some of the better character moments between the crew. That's the reason why I think it's underrated. Plus, it had Aokiji, as you guys have named. Why does everyone think Act 2 is ending? Act 2 is generally 60% of a three act structure, assuming this is three acts. Act 2 might last until 2020 summer. Well, since this is modeled after a Kabuki play, Solo Dolo Solomon, it's a general concept that most people agree that the act is going in a Kabuki play. It's five acts. So people are going with the idea that it's 5, so 2 should end soon. And the other reason that people think 2 is going to end soon is that all of the plots that had started at the beginning of Act 2 are now coming to their climax or head, which generally speaks to the ending of an act. When my Basil Hawkins video drops, respect will be put on his powers. I mean, I think Basil Hawkins has potential to be really, really strong. I just don't like the reason I point to Drake is I think Drake carries a more impressive narrative weight in the story, which actually amplifies his strength. Also, Dritz, you had a homework assignment to watch my last 2 videos, and you were a week late for one and a few hours late for the other. I have not watched them. That is true. Thanks for the analysis videos and the streams. 10K, yo, thanks, film student. I appreciate it. Will the Davy Back fight be brought back for Shanks versus Luffy? I don't see any evidence for it, but is it a cool idea? Sure. I could see how that could play out. What do I believe are some things One Piece does to make it stand out from other series? World building, for the most part. That's the major appeal to One Piece, is the world building. A lot of other shows, at least the ones I can think of, the world building isn't on as grand of a scale as One Piece's is. I mean, One Piece is essentially an epic fantasy based within, a pirate realm. Can someone please tell me the Zoro 944 idea? There was a color spread, not too long ago, of Zoro sitting on a tombstone that had the number 944 on it, with something written below it that we couldn't understand what it meant. So people designate this importance or the symbolism to be towards Zoro in chapter 944. Snickers looking the shit out of herself still. Jesus Christ. Luffy about to one-shot Queen a bit. No, no, no. Oda been hyping up Kawamatsu heavy. Yeah, he has been. He has been. Apparently, we quote unquote need him. God damn it. One Piece may have his problems, but the community is dope and it keeps us all talking week to week. That's a fact. No, is that seriously it? To a certain extent, no, and to a certain extent, yes. So let me explain that. It is not a given that everyone who supports the Zoro 944 assumes that it's going to be that Zoro dies. The reason that 944 Zoro dies thing came to be is because Zoro was sitting on top of a tombstone, and tombstones symbolically represent death. And it had 944 on it, and Zoro was sitting on top of it. So there was the idea that Zoro would die. Obviously, that's not the case. Most people don't believe that because he's a main character. The general idea, though, is that something important to Zoro, around Zoro, will happen on chapter 944. And seeing where we are in the narrative, it's not too absurd to think that. Henry Peter says, I saw your review of the last chapter. I think Yasui's death was to move the plot forward, but also to give the characters motivation and give the readers a sense of the stakes. That's a good look on it, I would say. What if Luffy defeats Kaido? He one-shots Akainu? Impossible. Akainu's Yonko level. There's no way Luffy's one-shotting a Yonko. Well, Zoro has been trashed since Wano. I mean, that's not a lie. So, I don't know what to say. What do you want? Okay. And also, yes, Bushido. Yes. Meow. Obito loves Akainu more than Luffy. I mean, I don't know about that. Zoro has not been trash. Stop. I actually think Zoro's been trash. Very disappointed in Zoro so far. Let's see. Act 2 for me just fell sort of flat considering everything has been off screen and we're just told what's going on. The pacing is clearly rushed while we don't even have the overall tone set. I mean, I agree with you, Tyler. What part of the world government would you put the admirals besides the navy, such as CPC? Wait, I don't know what the question is. What part of the world government would I put the admirals beside? I don't understand that question. Joel, could you clarify? What if 944 is supposed to be Zoro paying respects to Yasui? Ugh. I mean, that would be anticlimactic. But, I mean, that's a possibility. Ragnar, shut the fuck up. Yeti Cool Brothers go. I mean, that's a fact. The Yeti Cool Brothers have. I mean, they should probably be on the crew right now. Oda is a low key Akainu stan. He is. Yes, Oda loves Akainu. That's basically been proven. Dritz, when Trilla Savage mentioned the Zoro and Sanji cover page, was that real? It's real. I can also tell you because I can add on additions to that color spread. In the middle of the color spread, Luffy is eating and a zombie is coming after Nami, and Nami is hugging Luffy's back in fear, shying away from the zombie by hugging onto Luffy. So obviously, I know anything color spread related to Luna. So that's just like a plain on fact. And also to add context, basically Sanji, there's like a female zombie like trying to like bite Sanji, and Sanji's like, oh, it's a girl dead carcass, so that shit's hot. So he's just like going arrow mode. It's not like he's jealous of Zoro or anything. Zoro's chilling, drinking booze with another zombie, if I remember correctly. Yeah. 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 What the theory? Dritz is Foob's brother? That's true. What chapter is the color spread? Oh, geez, I don't know what the chapter is. I can find the image, though. Let me go ahead and try and find that image. One Piece zombie color spread. That should do the trick. And there it is. Let me go ahead and switch this over. Oh, dude, my cam is fucking huge. Here is the full color spread. So Luffy's got the king symbolism going on here. As you see here, Robin's chilling, feeding the zombies. Sanji's getting bitten by a girl zombie, and he's just like, "Oh my god, it's a corpse." Zoro's over here chilling with this zombie who's wearing kind of like a Pirate King-esque garb. He's got Ultimo on his back, Mayor, and then 944, and awards in the corner. We don't know what it is. And you see right over here, there is also looks like a 944 December, perhaps. But yeah, this is the overall color spread. I know, Snickers. If you weren't in the community, would you care about 944? Well, if I wasn't in the community, I wouldn't know about 944. So, like, at least this idea. Honestly, if you had to create a Luna scenario in Wano, what would it be? Something to deal with Luffy. I still like the idea of Luffy getting Roger's disease in Wano. I think that's a cool idea. Some Wukong, something with Zeus, with Luffy. That would be dope. My favorite, though, is the Nami telling Tama about Ace being Luffy's brother. I said that idea whenever Wano first started. It's not going to happen anymore because Tama doesn't matter to the Straw Hats as much anymore. Her character kind of went blah. She'll have that moment with Luffy at some point in time, but it's not going to be as big as I thought it was going to be with the crew. I thought it was going to be a crew sensitive issue. I would have preferred that. Yeah. If the Zoro Sanji stuff goes anywhere, I would like to see Nami's reaction to that. No, I don't think you can accurately place where the supernova strength are is by just saying that he's a headliner. Just like with Capone, Capone's stronger than an average minister. But he had just joined the crew, so he's not going to go instantly to a commander level. Yo, thanks, Jim. 940 will be Mihawk if they're ever going to clash with Shanks. I don't know about that. Toko Gray and Tama. I don't even like Tama, but Tama's better than Toko. But I think there. Let me look for other color spreads. One Piece. I'm hoping this actually happens. Luffy getting the flames here. That would be dope. But okay, all right, Christian, fine. Fine. Let me go ahead and fucking. Fuck. Video call. Copy link. Where the fuck is Christian? There you are. Also, is my camera... What is my figuration set to? Okay, great. Fuck. Will the stream stay up? Nah, probably not. I sent you the link, Christian. Some people said that Peachbeard in the background in the zombies are Moria and Blackbeard symbolism. Let me go and look back at that shit. Peachbeard. I mean, the Moria symbolism? Yeah, potentially. I don't know if Oda was going that deep with it. It's possible, though. I can see that. Thanks, Ragnar. Wow. What a friend. What's up, JDB? How's work and life? Both being pretty good right now, honestly. Yo, what's up, Christian?
Hello?
Hello? You there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Alright, we're...
What time is it up there right now?
It's 1:30.
1:30 p.m.?
Yeah.
Oh. Talking about you falling asleep. Get out of here.
Wasted time. It's maybe wait an hour and a half.
Has not been an hour and a half. Oh,
it has, the stream.
Oh, it has. Damn. Yeah, well, time flies by, you know.
Alright, what's this topic anyway?
Oh, okay. So this is a power scaling cancer topic, but generally,
Okay.
So I was thinking the other day about how different the Straw Hats have been treated during the time skip, and how they're where a lot of people think they're going to end up being at the end of the series.
Yeah.
So, for an example, Zoro has an ascertainable goal that is related to a power level.
Yep.
So we have Mihawk, and we have a general idea of how strong Mihawk is, which is really strong.
Yeah.
And I know that Oda doesn't like to break trends in the series that he starts,
Mm-hmm.
which is part of the reason why I think that Jinbei wasn't allowed to join the crew, is that he would disrupt the power of balance within the crew that Oda likes to keep. So we have to wait for the other Straw Hats to get stronger before Jinbei can, like, quote unquote, come back, so that he still fits into the role nicely without, like, I don't know, upsetting Zoro and Sanji.
Yep.
And to go along with that power scheme, people always, because it's been mostly the case, is that Sanji should be somewhere close to Zoro. So I was wondering, you know, Sanji has no ascertainable strength measure within the series, and he doesn't actually have a desire to get stronger. So as we head further on into the series, with Sanji's goal that doesn't have anything related to it in terms of paralleling his strength, how is Oda going to justify Sanji being on the same or near the same level as Zoro without any of that being there? Because all of the other characters that do want to be stronger have that as a goal. And as far as we know, the All Blues, Sanji doesn't really even care about it. And it's not even relevant to his dream of becoming stronger. And we've seen that with the raid suit. Sure. Sanji's power-up hasn't really come from himself either. It's come from something else. So as we head further onto the series, I don't know how that's going to change.
Alright, so my thoughts on this is, what's Sanji's main goal during every arc?
I mean, I don't think he has one.
Save the ladies.
Oh, right, okay.
Alright? So something's gonna happen in Wano, I assume, and he's gonna realize he has to get stronger to save the ladies, and then he'll have an obtainable goal. There you go.
Yeah, but okay, so that's past Wano.
Sure,
So you think
I
that for the
mean,
rest of the series, that as long as in each individual arc, Sanji has a quote unquote just a plot specific role, that would justify him being strong enough to match up with people who actually have aspirations and dreams?
um, well, yeah, well, the All Blue is a weird dream because we've got no progression on it at all.
Right.
So I don't like it's weird, but like the way Zora's going to progress is like I don't see why Sanji wouldn't be on the same track
Right.
just because the crew has to fight certain individuals. Like in Wano, some people think they're gonna fight King and Queen on their own,
Right.
solo 1v1s. I don't think that because it doesn't make sense for the power scaling. So I say it's gonna be team up for those commanders,
Okay.
and then whenever they fight Blackbeard, Zoro has to fight Shiryu, so Zoro has to be commander level at that point. Otherwise, that fight is kind of irrelevant if Zoro is already commander level.
Right.
Like, what's the point of him fighting Shiryu if he's already commander level? And then the next power boost is going to be him versus an admiral at the end of the series. And then the last fight for Zoro is going to be Mihawk, obviously, which is the next power jump. The only I think Sanji stops an admiral tier, like legit, because he's got no goal at the end, right?
Right.
You can imagine Sanji fighting an admiral at the end of the series because you could imagine it. It's
Well,
not
like, yeah,
guaranteed
it's
to
just
happen.
weird if you compare Sanji to every other character, where it's like every other character's dream that where we imagine them getting stronger. There's like a power level associated with that dream, because someone else has
Sure.
like either done it or been close to it before. So world strongest swords, and even with Kobe, it's like he wants to be an admiral. Well, admiral level is
Sure.
actually an ability, or is actually a scalable strength. I think
Um,
Sanji to be like a commander, or like be that far in Luffy's crew with his dream, and it basically not to have anything to do with power, but Sanji's supposed to be strong, and his abilities right now are basically relying on something else other than himself. I don't know what Oda's going to do into the future to like justify that, because Zoro and Luffy have like the entire series of correlating their goal with like getting stronger,
sure.
but Sanji doesn't.
I think Sanji's strength is going to come from maybe a bit of Hulk Island character development if it happens, because he realizes that he doesn't want to be a burden to the crew right at the start of the arc. That's strength related in some ways, so that could be a character motivation for him to get stronger. He doesn't want to be a burden. He wants to protect the ladies. He wants to help his captain. There's ways to get Sanji there. I mean, but I don't think he's getting to Zoro's level at the end of the series because Zoro has that final push for Mihawk. Like, there's no Sanji equivalent for Mihawk.
Right.
Like, so I think Sanji stops an admiral. If that's his final fight. I don't know why he has a final fight after the admiral. You know what I mean? Like, Kizaru is probably his final fight. If I was to guess anything.
Yeah, I think that would be it too. I suppose there's always the chance that Oda could like introduce something new that's like scalable to the goal, but I feel like the placement of that would definitely be weird for how late we are in the series.
Yeah.
Like you wait until like like maybe like the second to last arc to like reveal more information. All Blue's like, you got to be X amount of strong to be the finder of all blue. Sanji, god damn, I got.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he just gets stronger because he's on the journey with Luffy, and he has to do what he has to do to be on that journey. But he doesn't have that Mihawk goal, so he's not going to push past,
Yeah,
to where
right.
Zoro has to be.
And like Luffy has like Rogers to compare it to, which there's actually even like a track of what you have to do to get to that goal, because Dante and Zhao
Sure.
pointed it out. Sanji's just like, I mean, he's just kind of there.
Yeah, he's like there's Roger, there's Rayleigh. I mean, Scopper's not even a thing. So
Scopper's a character that's supposed to be introduced at some point in time, but it's like, even then,
where is he?
where
Even
is he?
that,
What's his value? I don't know.
I don't like Sanji's always been the third man. He doesn't have to be finished the series as strong as Zoro.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Zoro
But
has
like,
that.
so, do you think that that's kind of like I guess it depends on how big of a gap you think there's going to be in between them, because a lot of people still think that heading into the end of the series that they're going to be like neck and neck with each other, and I think the
Well,
evidence kind of points to that not being the case.
I think. Well, it depends how strong you think Mihawk is. I'm not convinced that he's, Emperor level. I'm convinced that he's in the space between Admiral and Emperor.
Right.
So Luffy's obviously going to be Emperor plus, maybe like Emperor level around there in the series.
Right.
Zoro's going to be in that Mihawk spot, and Sanji's going to be in that Admiral spot. So like, there's a difference there, but is it is it like massive between Zoro and Sanji? Like Zoro's gonna be that extra level stronger, but he's not gonna be oceans apart. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess it depends upon your scaling. I think for the end of the series, I don't think Zoro's last fight's actually Mihawk. I think he has to be stronger than Mihawk to fight whoever his last opponent's going to be.
Well, my theory is that Zoro fights Mihawk in the epilogue. So to wrap the series up, I'm not necessarily sure why Zoro would fight Mihawk in a situation. You know what I mean? Like the CG Bukai system's going down, so Mihawk's not going to be on the Navy side for the final war. So why would Zoro fight Mihawk in any like
Well,
adversary
my idea
place?
is I think that Zoro's going to. It's not going to be like an enemy thing because like Mihawk and Zoro aren't and they never were enemies.
Yeah, but
I feel like
when-
there's going to
when
be like a
does- yeah.
process for mastering your swordsmanship that you have to get over the next hump. You have to like it's kind of like symbolic, like especially in a lot of swordsman and mentor anime and or
Yeah,
tropes
like,
where
he
it's
has to
like
beat the mentor,
to
yeah.
master the technique, you have to like learn it from your mentors, like the final step to becoming like a true master. I feel like
Yeah.
after the Blackbeard fight, Zoro will have to fight Mihawk to learn whatever this next step or this last step is to becoming a true master swordsman, so that he could fight like because I mean I feel like Oda's kind of going this direction. Where there's like these super secret mystery strong people that haven't been in the lore for the entirety of the series that are going to be introduced at near the end of the series for the final war to make the fights more dynamic. I feel like Zoro has to be able to defeat Mihawk to take on that next step.
I think that stuff's the power scaling in the end game though, because assumably you would have the end game being Luffy versus Marines, right?
Oh, I mean,
And-
world versus the world.
Yeah, so Luffy and his crew take on Marines basically. That's what I assume. With Dragon and all those kind of characters. So you're gonna have Zoro defeat an admiral, assumably, then go up against Mihawk, or does he find Mihawk before the admiral?
This is
And
before
then-
the fight even starts. In my vision.
So Zoro beats Shiryu in the Blackbeard arc, wherever that is, for
Right.
the Pirate King title. Then he beats Mihawk,
Right.
which is a character stronger than an admiral.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the final war and fights an admiral,
I don't think his final antagonist is an admiral.
some mystery character.
Right. Or like, this is like a placeholder, but like Gandhi or something,
I'm not convinced by that. I'm not convinced by that because it seems like it's always been set up that Mihawk's kind of the pinnacle of the mountain, and to like change that at the last arc would be like weird, and like Zoro would already be the world's greatest swordsman in the world's
Yeah,
eyes.
but like, especially for like, there's always something more after your dream, though. So Luffy's dream is to become the Pirate King, but we know that you have to be above the Pirate King to be able to take on Emu.
But so Luffy becomes Pirate King because he defeats Blackbeard, and then we go on a quest for Zoro to get his title, and then we fight the world government.
Well, I think there's going to be something because I don't think it's going to be Luffy and company go to Raftel, and immediately after Raftel, there was like right away, boom, world versus the world. I think you kind of have to set that shit up because I don't think you can actually justify just like 5 months later time skip. We got all of the allies we needed all on the same page so that we can all fight everyone at the like even for like Marineford, there was like a week in waiting. There was planning and
Sure,
stuff
but
like that.
Gandhi, like the Gorosei, already starting to plan the Great Cleansing.
Right,
which
yeah,
is
that's
probably
like
the
all
final war.
setting up
Yeah.
for like Raftel being the things, but it's like there's still gonna be time in between there. I think I don't think it goes immediately from Raftel,
Sure,
I think
it's
there has to be
it's
some
gonna be
setup
immediate,
somewhere.
yeah. It's gonna be set up, but I don't like.
and I don't think it actually takes that long for the fight to actually be settled.
Well, in my head canon, all the straw, like most of the Straw Hat's dreams are gonna happen in the epilogue
Right.
because you got
Well, it
you got-
depends though.
yeah, you got Frankie's dream, which is sailing around the world, which is
Well,
basically
Frankie's
the same
dream is
as Nami's.
making it to the end of the Grand Line, and that's accomplished whenever he goes to the Raftel.
Lost
Robin's
Islands.
dream's accomplished when he
Yeah.
goes to Raftel. Luffy's dream's accomplished whenever he defeats Blackbeard. Usopp's
Nami still
dreams
has-
theoretically
yeah.
can be accomplished in Elbaf.
In
Nami's
Elbaf.
dream is never.
Nami's dream, she has to sail the other oceans still.
Right.
So,
So they actually don't happen all
yeah.
at the same time. Like chronologically, it
Well,
can't
the
even be
all-
possible.
The all blue theory, All Blue theory is going to be after Luffy's the Pirate King, right?
I mean, if you're going
Or
with the
is
idea that I'm going with, then yeah.
Or is the All Blue where Raftel is? So Sanji figures he's at goal out at Raftel.
I,
You know, when do
that
we
would
when
be
do we wrap up
very
these-
underwhelming.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know when these goals finish. Is Luffy the last one to finish his dream because he's the main character? He has to do it last. That's the
Well, I mean,
question.
logically speaking, Nami's dream can't be accomplished until the epilogue, like in a time skip or
Yeah.
something. Unless, and I would hate for this to happen because this would basically be like if Nami or at some point like they go to the rafter or something and they had most of the world already mapped out and she's like copy and paste it or something onto a world map. It only has like a certain section to fill out. But
Yeah, but yeah, I guess.
yeah, I mean,
But yeah, So the final the question is, I don't think Sanji's making it to the Mihawk level. He's gonna finish at Admiral.
yeah, I'd say so.
Like I think because he will follow Zoro until that area, and then after the Admiral, there's no opponent for him to fight. Like after Admirals, who's Sanji gonna fight? There's no one to fight after that.
Well, I suppose
know
you
what
could
I
always
mean?
make the argument that there's going to be a new character introduced that Sanji's going to have to quote unquote
mean,
fight, and that the admirals will be put for
We
someone
have
else.
Rocks. We have Aimu, and maybe Aimu. We have maybe Rocks being in the plot at some point. Does he? It's kind of referenced that he's kind of a solo dude at this point, so he doesn't really have a crew, which means that's a Luffy fight if Rocks is on his own. Like Luffy
Right.
always fights the big bad. Like if Rocks doesn't have a hype crew, there's no one to fight there for Sanji.
Right.
I guess maybe Shiki comes back. I don't fucking know.
Cheeky.
Shiki comes back, fights Sanji for no reason. Like,
This doesn't because.
The Zoro Mihawk fight's gonna have like big impact for the fans, but
Right.
like there's no point having Sanji fight some arbitrarily strong guy that has been set up just so Sanji gets a fight. It would be meaningless for Sanji because it's not like it's his goal. It's just like he has to fight someone.
I don't know.
That's the point.
Maybe you could create a plot line with the Germa being annexed from the world government. Like the
Germa
true-
being that strong?
well, not saying it's like that strong. It's like, but I'm saying is that there's like a person responsible for like the downfall of Germa, and Sanji fights that guy
But
because it happened hundreds of years ago.
sure, but I'm not. But that's North Blue shit. Like,
But that's world government stuff because they had their own stuff in that.
yeah, but
There's definitely a
surely,
story behind that.
Surely an Admiral comes in and just wins the North Blue.
Yeah,
know what
but
I
I
mean?
mean, that's not the same thing though. It's like that's why I said the possibility for a new character to be introduced.
Sure. Like
'Cause that's
the
a world
ancient-
government kind of stuff.
like the ancient Pillarmen of the One Piece world.
Yeah, right.
watch
You know,
JoJo.
whatever was behind that.
Yeah.
You know, the 40 days of crying or whatever it was the judge was talking about. I can see that being a thing potentially.
Yeah, we have the time fruit, so we can have people coming from the past for the quote unquote prophecy of the end times. That could be a possibility too.
Well, I don't
know
think
what I
that's
mean?
necessary. I mean, like, if you believe in the
Like,
idea of
Ancient
people
Kingdom
from the
coming
past
in-
still being alive in the present day because of X reasons, you know,
Immortality,
immortality,
surgery, all that
this
kind
or
of shit,
through
yeah.
power. You know, it's not, especially if it's connected
Yeah.
with the world government. You know, it's believable.
But yeah, I don't, because here's the thing: if the world government have these secret, ultimately stronger than, stronger than emperor level people, why are they struggling at all to keep a hold on this world? You know what I mean? Like, just send them out and clean up all the
yeah,
emperors.
I think with that
That's the big problem.
well,
That's
the
big
one
problem.
thing though, I think at the end of the series, regardless of this person, what I'm talking about, existing or not, that's going to be a question we have to talk about anyway, because I feel like
Yeah.
it's definitely obvious that they heavily have the upper hand if they ever wanted to.
Like, look at Marineford, right? We got one emperor coming in and almost stomping the entire navy.
Right.
Like,
But at the same
where are
time,
these-
you have
where are
things from
these
Oda
guys?
saying that Akainu would basically solve the series in 1 year.
yeah, because
I guess you would have to ask, like, what's the motivation for the world government not actually, like, pretending to be pirates and doing the exact same fucking thing? Finding the One Piece or, like, sailing the Grand Line? Why are these guys doing this?
yeah.
Why aren't they trying to
That-
find the One
yeah.
Piece too?
It in my personal opinion, the admirals are the strongest the Navy's got.
But the Navy isn't the
You
world
know,
government, though.
well,
It's a separate entity.
is there a secret
We have
army
Emu.
with we do have, yeah, but you know my thoughts about Emu Dritz, that he represents the Celestial Dragons and that he can't be strong because he's a piece of shit, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, how much do
He
you actually buy
uses-
that?
I buy it, man. I'm not.
Then what's
I
the
buy
purpose
it.
of introducing him?
He is the figurehead that basically you get rid of him, you save the world, and it's a simple way to save the world.
So you really
basically.
think that we're gonna go through this epic introduction only for him to be like Orochi?
Well, look at Orochi, look at Spandam. We've got villains like this in the series before.
Were they
It's
ever
happened.
introduced like Emu?
I think he has.
I mean, come on, like even from an objective
Ancient
standpoint,
history.
if you're looking at Emu, it's like this guy's next level kind of stuff.
No. Here's the problem with the Emu, right? It makes me upset that Oda would do this when he already has potentially like 3 endgame villains that he could pull from. He doesn't need Imu at all. He doesn't need it. Why do it? That's my question.
Well, I mean, what's the 3 endgame villains that you were thinking of?
You got Blackbeard, Alkainu, and like maybe Rocks at this point.
Okay, so the reason I would say is that none of those actually make sense to be an endgame villain.
Well, Alkainu's Fleet Admiral now, so like if you take away the world government's weapon, they're useless basically.
Yeah, but like
So
the
you
point,
win.
it's like I would say like from a power scaling standpoint, yeah, it kind of could be like endgame material. But the reason why it doesn't work is that Akainu's mentality is not the same thing as what like the entire story of One Piece is even about.
Well, Alkainu's anti-freedom, and One Piece is about freedom. So
No, but like the real problem of One Piece has always been portrayed to be whatever happened during the Void Century with the Celestial Dragons. So you actually like see even with like Dragon, his goal is not to defeat Akainu, is to get rid of the Celestial Dragons. So Luffy has to fight someone that embodies all of the mentalities that Celestial Dragons have, and even Akainu doesn't have the same
Yeah.
mindset as the Celestial Dragons.
I think Aimu represents the ancient history, all that kind of stuff. But I think he's there to explain us ancient history, and he might have. I'm not saying he's weak. I'm just not saying he's. Like Emperor Plus level character. Like he doesn't have to be insane. He could just have political leverage,
So,
as all kings do.
I guess it depends. Do you think I guess this last question? Do you think he's from the Void Century?
I think it's possible. I don't see why not.
So someone from the Void Century, having lived for basically a millennia, is not going to be like that kind of level person.
Yeah, because
Really,
he's,
you really
he's a
believe
king. He's a king who never had to fight
An
fight
immortal
anyone.
king.
Yeah, he could be immortal. Doesn't mean he's strong.
I mean, those things are somewhat like synonymous, especially in.
Have
Like,
you seen his body and neck? He doesn't have a neck.
but
on.
I
Come on,
guarantee
Dritz.
you, yeah,
He's
but
not
like
strong.
this is Oda, so like these shadow things. The next time we see him, he's probably gonna be like 15 meters tall, with like
Yeah.
really really long legs. No, it wasn't.
He's gonna look like a
I wasn't
freak. 'Cause
there.
his silhouette makes no sense. But
Yeah, that's what we'll be saying.
I think he has. I think he's more about political leverage because that's what Celestial Dragons are. They're political leverage. They're not actually strong.
Yeah, but
They're
there has to be
there because
something.
they're there.
Like even the Gorse, like before the Gorse and before that, there has to be a reason why, despite how strong we think the Navy is, they like there have been good Marines that know the Celestial Dragons are the problem. There has to be a reason that they just don't just like get rid of them. There has to be a reason. There has to be like a deciding factor. It's like we actually can't do anything because of X.
Well, you look at Garp, maybe LKG, but he kind of respects the Navy's process. Although right now he's in a different mind space, but that's character development. If you look at LKG before he left the Marines, he still was a 100% Marine man. So like, yeah, he doesn't like the Marines now, but he used to, and he's like high up in the ranks. So I don't think, like, yeah, the Celestial Dragons are a problem, but they're basically the political class of the world, and the Navy's
Yeah, right.
job
And you
is
have
to protect that
900
class.
years of one political class ruling a system, which is ridiculously uncommon,
Sure, it's uncommon, but
especially
this
from
is
a military formed government.
Eric's losing in the background, but
Army doesn't take out the commander because he's weak.
I mean, yeah. Well, I don't think a king has to be strong to have leverage. He could have ancient weapons at his disposal, that kind of stuff. Nuclear weapons,
Like nuclear
deterrence.
weapons.
Well, basically, ancient weapons and nuclear weapons, right?
How many has he got?
Basically, maybe he's
We
got
already
a
know he
couple
doesn't have
plutons.
2 of them.
Maybe he's got a couple plutons in the bank.
There's like
Who
an
knows?
extra Pluton in the bank. I mean,
You
Is
got
it-
Uranus. We don't know what that does yet. It could be some sort of crazy, laser from the sky that wipes out.
so what you're
Could be
saying
some
is that
crazy
this
Death Star.
ancient weapon, the
Yeah.
threat of this alone is going to stop basically the entire world government from trying to usurp a king who isn't that strong.
Well, they don't know he exists.
How
That's
many of
another
the Marines
problem.
do you think actually know exists? Because
Just
he
the
was just
Gorosei.
walking through the castle.
It's just a Gorosei. That's what it
Mm.
seems like. Seems like he's like the secret shadow government ruler, where the Gorosei is the face, and the Gorosei like seem like reasonable people, but they're being controlled by this man basically. So I think the Gorosei respect because they know about the ancient history. They respect Amu's power because of the ancient history.
I don't know. It feels like, I don't know, maybe
Like-
because like this wasn't really displayed a lot in the chapter, but it kind of seemed like it's like the entire castle, what's it called? The Pangaea Castle was on
Yeah.
like full display for everyone to walk around, and like he just like walked around.
Well, I think
You would
that's
think someone whose identity is literally the most top secret thing in the entire government would have like layers of protection to make sure
he's
it's like super secret.
he's completely shadowed out and in black, so he might have a device that absorbs all light, hiding his identity.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, Drew, it's like that's just semantics. Like Oda wanted to have a cool moment, so that's what he did. That like he's not fucking thinking about security in the Pangaea Castle. Come on, Oda.
I mean,
Come on,
how could you not think about that
come on,
though?
kids. Yeah, he thought about it, and he's like, "Nah, I want this cool moment."
But you
Like,
could
it's a
like
cool
it would be
moment.
even cool. Like it's like you have a top secret entity. You have to have like tons of clearance around him at all times because no one could find out about his identity.
I mean, you got good the Gorosei there. They
But like they didn't
would
even know he
shut
was there.
down
They
the
were just
whole
walking
point.
down the hallway talking to each other, and they looked like, "Oh, Emu, what's up, dude? Glad to see you're here."
I mean,
They
we
weren't
know he has
expecting him to be there.
servants. He has at least one servant that told everyone to get the fuck out, right?
Right.
So I think that's just semantic stuff. Basically, the way I see this working is the Gorosei are the face, and the Marines actually respect the Gorosei because they seem like they make reasonable decisions for the sake of the world. And then you've got Aimu, who's the actual bad guy and the cause of all these problems. He'll get taken out by Luffy, I guess. But the quest will be to get to him. Like I don't think he's like Aimu being this Kaguya villain coming out of nowhere, being the almighty power of the world.
I feel like
Do we need that? Do we need it?
do we need it? But I feel like it's kind of just it's a foregone conclusion for me so far. Because
Yeah.
like, the reason I think that though is because these other protagonists, these other endgame villains, I think
Yeah.
Blackbeard dies at Raftel. I don't think he has a point
Sure.
outside of Raftel. I think Akainu and Sabo are destined to fight, and after Akainu, I don't think there's another discernible target for Luffy. Outside of Emu being stronger than that.
Well, it's assuming that we think this is a linear path and that Raftel isn't the final battle where everyone gathers for the One Piece, right? We're also assuming that Luffy fights Marines after that point. So we still got Fishman Island to be destroyed. Luffy has to get mad about that.
Yeah, but that could be in the
Fishman Island?
endgame. During the
Yeah,
great
that could be
cleansing.
epilogue.
That could be
epilogue
during the great
stuff,
cleansing or
endgame.
whatever.
Yeah.
Or the epilogue where Luffy does that. It's like it may not be as like tragic. Well, the reason I think that is because like even Whitebeard's vision is basically like after Luffy becomes the Pirate King, after someone finds the One Piece, then that's when shit goes down. And unless I don't see the reason why like Blackbeard would be even. I feel like his purpose is kind of done whenever he loses like his goal of becoming,
Yeah, 100%.
Pirate King.
100%. He's like Luffy's going to defeat him.
and then it
for
becomes
Pirate King
grander,
top.
world scale kind of stuff.
But yeah, it's like we're assuming that Raftel's the not the final thing, but Luffy, like it's possible that Fisherman Island gets destroyed or something. Luffy gets mad, Or maybe like, Alabasta is being attacked because of the Great Cleansing. Luffy gets mad, goes after the world government, and then he goes to Raftel. Like that's also possible.
Is it though?
So like it's possible. Like Blackbeard could still be the final villain for the One Piece.
So let's say like Luffy's like randomly searching for like the last road poneglyph, and he gets word that the Fisherman Island was destroyed. Without having all the knowledge of the world government and everything about it, Luffy's first going to destroy the people that he doesn't actually know the true history about.
Well,
Then
we
go
know-
to Raftel where he learns the true history, and in retrospect is
Luffy-
like, oh, so that's why I did that.
I don't think Luffy gives a flying fuck about the true history.
It's not
He
all
gives
about
a
Luffy,
fuck
it's about
his
all the
friends.
characters involved.
Yeah, Dritz. Here's the thing, right? Vivi could be captured.
Right?
Luffy goes after her to Marines, and then everyone attacks because Luffy's attacking. Like it's just a
Well,
coincidence.
then what's the
that
purpose of
everyone's-
like? I feel like Raftel loses half its importance if you do it in the reverse order.
But Raftel is where we're gonna find out about the ancient history. Like you should have that for the last thing. For Robin, basically. Luffy doesn't give a fuck. It's
No,
basically
but
for Robin.
we don't know that though. As a fact,
Like if Luffy would have to have massive character growth to give a fuck about the ancient history.
I mean, he would. I'm saying character growth for Luffy, that's a long shot, but you can't just have it for it's like there has to be a guiding motivation beyond you just hurt my friends for Luffy to destroy the entire world government.
I mean, Zabo could convince him as well. There's
Come on.
different characters.
So I was gonna
Dragon,
like
Shanks.
you know, him and Saul are gonna meet up after he hears the friend like, yo, dude, dog, we can take these guys. Who was like, I got your back, and they just like destroy
Well-
the entire world government with no like lore behind that, motivating at least some of the characters that they know about.
Well, Luffy has witnessed Shabondi and he hates slavery. That's a reason.
But
enough
that's
to
not
destroy the
deep
world
enough.
government.
They don't know the truth.
That's not important.
But
The
like,
truth
if-
is not important to the characters
if-
of the world.
okay, we
There's
both
truth
agreed that Emu is supposed to be the representation of everything that goes on Celestial Dragons. If Luffy doesn't know about the Void Century, defeating Emu loses half or almost all of its importance.
But
Because there's no context that they understand behind that.
they understand the context of the here and now, which I would say is way more important than the past. The here and now is way more important than the past, Dritz, for character
It's not
motivation.
because the past is the only reason why we're in the here and now.
But the past has
The
no
entire
relevance
story
on
is
characters
about
here.
manifesting the destiny that was created a
Dritz,
1,000 years ago.
There's a difference between lore building and character motivations.
But at this point in time,
It's
to
more
destroy
impactful-
and reform the world,
Sure,
that
but
is
it's
the guiding
more-
motivation for that.
It's more important for a character in real time to be upset about wrongdoings in real time than give a fuck about people 1,000 years ago.
Like, that would be so fucking... Oh, God. Raptor would suck so bad if that happened in that order. Oh, my God.
But there's no discernible reason why Luffy would care about people 1,000 years ago. He only cares
It's
about
not
the
just
here and
about
now.
Luffy, though. It's about the crew as a whole, because even really said, it's like, once you find the One Piece and you learn the true history, your answer will be different than ours. If they already reform the world and then they find out the true history, there's no different answer of what they decide to do with that knowledge. They've already done the shit.
But it depends on when you think Luffy will be Pirate King. That's all I'm saying is it's not set. It's not necessarily set in stone the way we think. Like I agree with you on the order of what the events could happen. I'm just offering up a different point of view on
All right. Okay.
the
So
different
yeah,
stakes.
I'll agree on the feasibility that there could be different order of things, but if it's different than that, oh man, Oda would have to introduce something more dynamic to make up for that. I think.
Yeah, I think he will. Like, I think you always have to remember that Luffy's actions always have to be sort of based in the here and now. Like, Robin was taken. Luffy wants her back. Sanji was taken from him. He wants Sanji back. Vivi's country was taken from her. He wants to help Vivi. Like, Ace was captured. He wants to save Ace, so he's willing to let all the people of Impel Down go. Like Luffy only cares about the here and now. He doesn't hold grudges necessarily.
Oh man, it better not stay that way.
Like why though?
That would
like,
be the lamest character motivation of all time for the
all right.
final arc.
If you found out that the US was founded on a lie and it means nothing, would you be that upset about the consequences of today?
It
Like, what would
depends
that
on what
actually
the-
impact your life?
It depends.
Like, if there's some secret Illuminati in the past that made the US what it was and screwed over another country, and you find out that information, how does that impact your life today? It doesn't.
Well, it depends. Am I in a position to do something about it?
Well, you can't go back.
Because the reality is, like, no, I'm not in a position right now to do something about it.
like, you can't go back in time and fix the past. Like, it's ancient history.
Yes, but
Like-
there's nothing more important than history ever.
Yeah, true, but that's the world, like, you can't put the blame on a civilization 1,000 years ago. It matters what they do here and
You know,
now.
I can if that civilization is still alive.
I mean, yeah, that's the possibility. That's
Like
that's
the
the
way
thing,
that
yeah.
doesn't work in the real world. It's like, okay, yeah, these guys have lived and died, so things happened after their rule that wasn't just
Sure.
them. But in the One Piece world, we're going on the assumption that these are the exact same people.
Yeah, if Aimu has a crew of ancient cronies that are helping him out, I guess you have a point. But that's a big if, right?
Yeah, it's a presupposition. Yeah,
Yeah. Like, I would. If Luffy's like motivation for destroying the world government is this shit happened in the past, is that really a moral argument?
well, it depends.
Like-
It's more of a moral argument than saying I'm going to destroy the entire basis of the world because that dude hurt my friend.
But there's different. Like, you could say like Luffy's witnessed, the tragedies of the world. The
There's no
auction house
purpose in
slavery.
but like the thing is, either way, we're kind of promoting the same thing. Luffy has to come to an understanding about the actual topics and not the individuals.
Yeah, basically what I'm saying is, I want Luffy to realize that the world government's like corrupt from the here and now, and the problem is the here and now. I don't necessarily think the ancient history is that relevant. Like, we'll get a cool backstory, but is it relevant to the world as it is? Like, it'll be relevant. It'll be cool lore and history, but I don't know how that affects character motivations. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's
Because-
kind of like the sole motivation because that's for me that's the main difference between Luffy and Dragon. There are purposes in the story,
Yeah, like Dragon should know about the ancient history, right?
or I mean, he should have some idea about it because his motivation is just to get rid of the Celestial Dragons. That's it.
Yeah.
The only thing he wants.
But you could come to that conclusion from the world that it is today, couldn't you?
Could you though?
You know the Celestial Dragons are the only ones who have slaves. Like, that's the only people who are allowed to have slaves. You know there's a class of people who are above the rest. So you could come to that conclusion today without knowing the ancient history. Like, there's still massive problems in the world. It's not a utopia. Like, the world government's still fucked today in the World One Piece context. Like, it's not like it's all based in the past. There's tragedies happening here and now that you could work out.
Yeah,
What's
but what
going on?
I mean,
Yeah.
it would depend on what Dragon's motivating factor is. Is his motivating factor just going to be like they killed my wife,
I
I'm
think
going to
that's-
take down the entire world, or is it like something bad happened to me and then I learned the real truth about why the way the world is and I want to do something about that?
Well, Dragon's history is going to be important. I assume he was high up in the Navy. He saw some tragedies, realized what the truth of the world is, and he's like, nah, man, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to free the slaves. Like, freeing the slaves is a good enough motivation for Dragon, right? That's
All right,
good
give me 1
enough
second. I
motivation.
think I gotta let stickers out. He's meowing at me.
All right.
What now?
What's going on, chat? Dritz Coon. Hankering for this ancient history. Think he's just going to solve all these problems. He's hanging out with his cat. I don't know. What is the chat? I haven't even fucking read the chat. What's the chat reckon? What does the chat reckon? Smoothie did goat. All right, they're talking about Smoothie. I don't know.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, what were we talking about? Yeah, Asian history. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't think it'll be. Yeah, it'll be important for some characters, but I don't think it's important for Luffy. That's basically what I'm gonna say.
I can see that being the case. If so,
Like
disappoint.
like we know it'll be like holding a grudge for thousands of years or 1,000 years, and it's like, yeah, Aimu could be still alive, so he's the main culprit. Yeah, but he affected people's lives 1,000 years ago in the ancient history. Those lives are basically ancient history at this point, but the wills live on. I think it's going to be more of a prophecy thing than a character motivation. Like, I don't see how it's a character motivation for basically, because I think it's way more of an impactful thing if people are pissed off at the system now. Like, if they weren't pissed off at the system before they figured out the ancient history, what the fuck is wrong with them? You know what I mean? Like,
Well-
if you only care about the world government now because of the ancient history, you're kind of a piece of shit.
Well, I think it's more like the means to take action based off of it.
But
Because it's not like Luffy right now is going from like, okay, first Pirate King and then the world government. He's like,
Exactly.
okay, just Pirate King. So like that's exactly how it is in the world right now. Luffy doesn't have the means or like the care to actually go after them. If the only thing separating Luffy from picking a fight with the entire world is like they haven't done just enough to piss me off yet, then I don't know. It seems like it would seem like a very weak enforced character, like a weak decision.
well, we know Luffy's legitimately pissed off at the slave house, so he's already got a grudge with the government. He knows he's got personal grudges with the government with Ace. Maybe you could argue a bit of impact there, and he kind of gets a little pissed off. He's got it's there. Like he does dislike what the world government does. He hates the celestial dragons right now. So someone could convince him to take him down. Like that character could be Zabo.
Yeah, well,
could be
I think that's the key
Dragon.
thing. Someone could
Yeah.
convince him to take it out. So what you're talking about
Yeah, I
is
think
basically
that's
just
gonna
like
happen.
Luffy just being like point and click, attack here because I told you to, and it's like, okay, I got it.
Well, Luffy could be like maybe he doesn't like maybe he's not informed, and then Zabo tells him about something, and convinces him that this needs to happen.
Well, the reason why I
You
think
know.
that it has to be something bigger than Luffy just fighting for his friends, because the result of the war is going to be the death of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people.
Sure,
You have
but-
to be manning a cause or an idea that you yourself believe in and or the spearhead of to justify that.
Well, we know. I think Luffy's idea is going to be freedom.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
the Great
Luffy's idea of
Slave-
freedom is tyranny.
it's
The
anarchy,
only thing
but
separating Luffy from the world government is because Luffy just hasn't gotten that thing yet. Luffy doesn't.
Luffy's
Listen, if
idea. of
Luffy's
freedom
idea is
anarchy.
that if you're standing in the way of what I want, then I will beat the shit out of you to get what I want.
Yeah, it's anarchy. It's classic anarchy. It's a pirate story.
Yeah, right. And if you're going to the entire narrative of the story is that Luffy is supposed to be the quote unquote good guy. Luffy's on the side of good. That's why the Will of D exists. That's why the Ancient Kingdom is being portrayed in this positive light. That's why everything related to what Luffy's cause is being portrayed as doing the right thing, quote unquote.
Yeah,
And
but
you can't just have that be a result of anarchy.
anarchists think they're doing the right thing. Like you don't know. Oda could be an anarchist, a deep anarchist, telling you what he thinks about the world and how political systems should run. You can look at a whole bunch of research and political topics about anarchy. They've got some ideas. I don't necessarily agree with all of them, but they think they could run the world better. Maybe Oda thinks the same thing. You don't know. Like that could be his political belief.
That would be a shock. I don't.
there's-
There's not many people that support
There's a moral argument to anarchists. I mean, you could do the research on that. I'm not gonna bore you with the details, but there's a moral argument for anarchy. Doesn't necessarily have to be immoral. You know what I mean?
How likely do you think that's going to be the case?
Well, you look at Luffy's character, and he's basically an anarchist, right? He does what he wants. He takes what he wants. He lives off freedom. He hates other people who don't have. He hates people taking away other people's freedom. Just look at the Doflamingo fight. Look at celestial dragons. He hates them. He hates Doflamingo because he's enslaving people. Luffy's whole thing is basically freedom, and I think Oda might be going in that direction of not maybe necessarily anarchy, but like the ultimate power of life of freedom and freedom for all. I think that's what Oda's trying to say with One Piece. It's a
but
power
at that
story.
point,
Dude.
at the end of the story, you would have to completely destroy all forms of government, even the one that Luffy is on.
Well, I don't think Luffy it's gonna be an alliance. Luffy's not gonna sit at a desk and fucking give out mandates. He's just gonna sail the seas forever as the pirate king. He's never gonna settle down. He won't be the freest man on the seas.
In order for everyone to fight everyone at the end of the story, it's like there has to be some guiding or grouping factor. Luffy has to be that factor, or at least that's what the idea is. At least
I think the Great Cleansing is gonna start. He's gonna see death and destruction, enslaving people are gonna be enslaved. The fishermen people are going to be subjugated even more strictly. Shirahoshi's probably going to be captured to be used as an ancient weapon. VV is probably going to be captured. Zabo maybe. The world government's going to go after all the people Luffy helped. He's going to realize that the world government are holding people's freedom, and I think that's motivation enough for Luffy. Like he doesn't have to know about the ancient history to come to that conclusion.
So, end question, Christian.
Yeah.
Is most of this idea of the world government not being the final villain based upon your dislike of there being a Kaguya 2.0?
It's that and the fact that I think there's no strong celestial dragons for a reason, and that's thematic. So yeah. The reason the celestial dragons aren't strong is because they're the ungrateful / undeserving.
Yeah, but we see not all celestial dragons are the same though.
That's true, but they're not physically strong, right?
Dofi's a celestial dragon.
Former celestial dragon, and he was raised on the streets.
Yeah, but he was born there, raised on Earth.
Born there
still
and
a
got
celestial
kicked
dragon.
out.
Yeah, the only thing separating Dofi from other celestial dragons is a moral compass from his parents.
And his upbringing and his tragic backstory.
Right,
whatever. Yeah. So he's got motivation.
Well, that's like saying, it's like, do you think literally every single celestial dragon is all the same? You don't think they're all being, drunk off of power as a form of just
we see Moscard learn the error of his ways via Otohime, so that there's possibilities for them to grow and learn. But they're basically living to live. They're not doing anything. They have no motivations. Moscard
yes, so that promotes
something.
the idea that they're mostly like livestock. They're just being fed power to keep them complacent.
Yeah, but you could say the same thing for Aimu. Like, what the fuck's he doing? He's just sitting in a castle doing nothing for 1,000 years.
Oh, I don't know what I'm
like, what's his grand plan? What's his that's the thing.
I don't know. It's probably gonna be something generic like world domination or something.
He's already had that for 1,000 years. He's already achieved his goal. What the fuck?
Listen, I don't know what kind of a character Imu's gonna be. Okay.
That's why I don't like people saying he's the end villain, because we literally, if you think about the themes of One Piece, I don't think it makes sense that he's the final villain and that he's strong. It's basically basing it off tropes. That's basically it.
That's probably why it makes the most sense then.
I don't know if but Oda's done such a good job setting up the final villains already. Why fall back on tropes for no reason? We've had long-standing final villains for a long goddamn time. I don't know why you would ruin that.
Well, there's a difference between final villain and then villains for your dreams.
Yeah, I think we're just going around in circles now,
right?
But yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping that Oda can put some respect onto Imu and make him a more fleshed out character. But
I think he'll be an interesting character with his morality and that kind of stuff. I think he's gonna be, the fucking uber legendary Super Saiyan that could destroy the planet with a click of his fingers.
What if he just starts destroying moons?
And then Enel comes back?
Yeah, and then Enel fights him, and Enel wins.
Yeah. So, basically, the conclusion of this conversation is Sanji will not be Mihawk level.
Correct.
All right. What do you want?
We agreed.
Do you want me to get off this, or you gonna end the stream?
Actually, I should probably end the stream.
Okay. Any more donos? Don't want to pull a Joe Boy.
Oh, that's true. I gotta check the donos. Yeah, I should probably pull up Streamlabs instead. That's an easier way of checking it. Oh, God damn it.
So basically we did our neck to neck on a live stream.
I mean, if you want to call that neck to neck, then yeah. Basically.
The first one got destroyed.
Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Film student had donated a little bit. He said, compelling goal was have obstacles in a set path. Oda should have had Zoro beat 5 to 7 great swordsmen before fighting Mihawk. Each win adds progression. I agree. I don't think that's going to be the case, though.
This isn't a samurai manga. Zoro isn't the main character. You can't have him have 7. That's like 7 arcs for Zoro.
Well, that's what he's saying should have been. Which
should
I
have
agree with.
been-
Zoro hasn't really fought in any good swordsman ever.
Yeah, so far, I guess.
Yeah, so.
I guess Ryuma's the best swordsman who's fought.
Yeah, pre-time skip Ryuma, I suppose.
Or maybe Hyozo.
And Kaku, I guess. I mean, want to count
What's that
Kaku.
fisherman called that he fucking destroyed?
Hyozu.
Hyozu. I guess you could make an argument.
I mean, outside of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be very anticlimactic if Zoro went from basically fighting no one to, 7 arcs into the new world. His first samurai opponents, like Samurai Jack or something, and he goes from Samurai Jack to Shiryu to Mihawk.
Well, he's gonna go Kirishiro to Shiryu to Mihawk. So that's a 3 character run.
Kyoshiro.
Yeah. He's gonna fight Kirishiro.
Why?
We assume he's the
What,
strongest
for the
samurai.
rights to keep banging Hiyori or something?
We assume that he's the strongest samurai one, right? Like on the Orochi side.
I mean, it depends what your definition of a samurai is. Yeah. I guess on Orochi's side, I suppose. So, yeah.
Yeah. So if and it's unlike Zoro's not at the power level to fight King.
Right.
So a common matchup that I've seen around is he's gonna fight Kirishiro in the battle.
Hmm.
Just a thought. Just so he has a
Yeah,
one-on-one
that's interesting.
swordsman
I can
fight.
see that.
Yeah.
I guess it depends. I don't know if Koshiro is going to end up being actually an evil guy.
Yeah, that's also another thing we have to think about. Yeah. I'm just thinking about like matchups at this point.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably the more logical path to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the only dono. So.
All right. Well, I don't know, like the stream. Check out my channel, the Red Force Podcast. We do videos.
Yeah, they put out more videos. You just put out a JoJo video, right?
JoJo, we're doing a new show, an art competition show. A couple of the community artists interested in participating in the competition. So basically, what it is you have an hour to draw something that the community decides on. It's a fucking hard challenge, all right? An hour to draw something hype, pretty hard. So we record that, we put that out. We put a lot of editing time into it to make it tight, make it interesting. So check it out. All
Yeah,
right?
it'll be
Check
dope.
out that video. It needs to do more numbers, all right? YouTube cucking us on the numbers, all right?
They are cucking on the
Check
numbers.
it
I
out.
don't think it really supports your type of work generally.
I know. Yeah, I know. But we're gonna promote it, see if we can get some numbers on it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are basically becoming kind of like underground staples as far as like the One Piece YouTube community content creators goes. Everyone goes to
Really?
you guys. Yeah, for real.
Is that true?
Everyone wants something done artistic wise, like like a thumbnail or
Yeah.
something. They always go to you guys or like shirt designs.
Yeah.
So from a content creator perspective, you're kind of less like you're building your way up. It's just that
100%.
the videos aren't going to be as dynamic with the community for a while. That's what you need.
Yeah.
You keep having people on, it'll keep doing better.
Yeah, it's one guest a month. We just had O'Hara on. I don't know who we're getting this month.
Me.
We'll see. Dritz Kun wants back on.
Yeah, I
mean,
was offered. Eric asked me on my last video to come on.
I mean, you were the worst guest last year, according to the polls.
Ah, goddamn. You hate to
Maybe,
see it.
maybe you can make her maybe you can make it a better appearance.
I just gotta. I gotta get my dick sucking lips on.
All right, so yeah, I guess if you want to go on, we'll get you on.
Yeah, for sure. Love talking to you guys.
All right. You gonna end the stream now? I'm done talking.
Now I'm gonna wait for you to like be awkwardly, but yeah, out in the stream.
I'm done.
All right, thank you guys for dropping by. This is a 2 hour stream. I wanted it to be 1 hour, but as per normal, I can't do anything fucking right. So
He
thanks
rambled
dropping
for an
by.
hour and a half. He
Yeah.
rambled for an hour and a half.
That's what I do best, baby.
Oh.
Thanks you guys for joining, and you guys all have a nice night. Bye bye.